When we first met Hovis, they come with this truly famous, iconic British brand. It's not just bread, it's an icon of who we are as a nation. And everyone's got a place in their hearts or their minds for it, whether it be the boy pushing the bike up the hill, or you might just remember it as your butties you had when you were a kid. And our challenge was to make that, take all that goodness and positivity, but make it relevant and make it a really contemporary brand that should be right at the heart of Britain now.
Costumes we're shooting at the moment at 1890, 1895, and it's when the boy's going to the shop to buy the bread. So you have lots of people in the street sort of carrying flour, you have the man pulling the cart, and nannies pushing prams. It's just quite nice to keep the colours quite muted and quite down, not to make anything look too new or bright. And I think it creates quite a good little scene there actually with the alley, it's quite cool.
Only Hovis could do an ad like this because the heritage Hovis has. And that's why we chose all the different iconic times from British history, brought them all to life, and just a celebration of Hovis intertwined with this country.
The commercial is 122 seconds long, so there's a second for every year that Hovis has been part of our culture.
I think the gathering of so many people in period costume in terms of a Great War soldier is unprecedented. It's never been done before. I think the 196 was the closest. We've got 200 plus here. This will be something that none of us will perhaps ever experience again.
The thing that really excited me was the idea. It's just kind of a celebration of this country and being British and the things that we've gone through.
The shot we're working on at the moment involves a crowd of perhaps 100, 200 people. What we need to do is get the guys to move down the street, and then we'll take a section from the distance, section from the middle, a section from the foreground, stick the whole lot together, and then that becomes one big shot, creating the illusion there's 1,000 people there.
This is the Blitz scene made from local bricks and 2 skip loads, approximately 50 tonne of rubble has been brought in.
The Liverpool Council came in and basically took apart all that 3 buildings, and then we did the paint effect on top. Little boy runs past and then goes up to the rubble and then goes into the coronation.
We have to get every single flag that's waved, or car that's in the background, or hairstyle, moustache, uniform, everything has to be absolutely authentic.
We're in 1953 for the coronation. So the next setup is we have the lad come from under the table having taken the drink. Beautiful girls in miniskirts come around the corner, and the kid's like, oh my goodness, and he dips between them. He turns around, one of the prettiest one turns around, and they do a little wave to each other. And then he scampers off with the bread under his arm.
It was bigger than a lot of films.
It is like an epic film.
Wait, it's like a mini movie, really. There's people in the street who remember, who were born in the street, coincidentally, who have been in tears looking at this today.
Order! Out!
Just looking for that kind of spark about him, you know, that kind of brightness, and also a face that people could empathise with. And I think that's what we had in Brian Thackie, you know, like you watch him and he's very, very likeable, very watchable, and also for somebody that's had no previous acting experience, he had a tremendous stillness.
The Blitz, for example, that was just amazing, all the scenery and all that there. And first it's the 1890s and I'm like in a baker's, and then I'm getting a loaf of bread to go run home my mum with, and then I just run home in all these different periods of time and all that. 1890s, World War I, the 20s, suffragettes, Blitz, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s and present day. When it all comes together, it will be a brilliant advert.
It's epic, it's big, it's a true celebration of being British.